Now to react to the FBI fallout, Bill Gavin. He's a former FBI assistant director. Bill, it was Friday that we got that bombshell statement from the head of the Miami unit of the FBI. Let's just listen to that and get your reaction.
The FBI released a statement regarding information provided to our public access line on January 5th of this year. The caller provided information about Nikolas Cruz and the potential of him becoming a school shooter. Under normal protocol, this information should have been provided to the Miami field office. Their appropriate investigative steps would have been taken. The FBI has determined that protocol was not followed.
Bill, when you heard that, your heart must have sunk.
It sure did, David. I was embarrassed. The FBI itself was embarrassed. And there is no way to make up for that with the horror that occurred as a result of this young man killing all these people.
Well, Bill,
There's
specifically,
just no way to say.
If the call had been made to the Miami Bureau and if they had gone to investigate all this, what would have happened? Could the shooting have been avoided?
That's very difficult to say, David. I don't know if it could have been avoided. Certainly, if the lead went into the SAC in Miami and he sent agents out, at least to talk to this individual to see what the problem was, go to the school, talk to the school. Do they have a problem there? Talk to students. That would have been done. But could they have obtained any kind of a search warrant? That would all be subject to the vagaries of the United States Attorney's Office down there to determine whether or not they had probable cause for a search warrant, to look at his computers, to look at his social networking. But the bottom line is, it was a horrible event not to have been picked up by whoever is responsible at the center for receiving these tips and not analyzing it and sending it out immediately to the FBI in Miami. That was... We'll be forever sorrowful for that, and it's out in the open. We were transparent about it, but that doesn't satisfy anything.
Well, Governor Scott says, and of course nothing is going to satisfy a horror like this, but Governor Scott says that the director of the FBI, Wray, should be fired as a result of this. What do you think of that?
I think that's probably a little bit over the top. I understand the emotional aspect of the whole thing, David, but firing Director Wray over something that happened probably without his knowledge, and he's done everything to rectify it. I'm sure the appropriate measures are in place that it doesn't happen again. They probably changed some of the protocol, but to fire Director Wray over this just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Now, the president spoke to all this, and he kind of linked the shooting to the Mueller investigation. I just want to put up a tweet that he put out this weekend, among many others. He said, quote, "Very sad that the FBI missed all of the many signals sent out by the Florida shooter. This is not acceptable. They are spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion." Are they distracted? Is the FBI distracted by the Russia investigation?
I'm sure that the President of the United States fully understands that there's 3,700 or 37,000, a whole bunch of people in the FBI. I'm sure that he also realizes that there is no distraction from doing all of our investigations, all of the investigations in the FBI. It doesn't doing what they're doing in conjunction with the collusion and with Bob Mueller is not detracting from what they do on an everyday basis. But I fully understand what he has to say and why he said it.
And Bill, I just got to say one final. We always try to mention this: the fact that law enforcement got a bad shake over the past 7 or 8 years. It's time that we stood up for law enforcement, and despite these awful mistakes that were made that are inexcusable, I think somebody should pay. Overall, the agency still does a good job. It's not an agency without any direction right now, is it?
Thanks, David. I appreciate that kind of a comment. And you're right, it isn't. 99.99% of the people are doing an outstanding job. When you have a horrible event like this and somebody doesn't do the right job, it just exacerbates and magnifies the horror of the whole thing. And there is no excuse. I don't think the Bureau is offering any excuse to atone for this. It happened, and it was wrong to happen, and they've been transparent about it, and they're doing everything to remedy it. But I think what we have to do as a country is determine how do we address this whole problem of mental instability among among our citizens of this country. We have
Bill,
to do something like that.
Thank you so. You're so good. You agreed to stick around for us. We appreciate you being here, Bill.